All right, welcome to another week of the year-end challenge here. I'm super excited. So this week, what we're going to do is talk about, if you've been following this challenge, this is the schedule right here, what we've been doing. The first week of November was positive attitude. The second month, we talk about gaining new clients. And then on top of that, we talked about retaining clients. And today we want to talk about how do you grow your customer base. Now, I wrote a whole book around this called Mastering the Upsell. And so what I want to do today, again, it's going to be 5 or 10 minutes, but what I want to do with you today is kind of give you maybe an exercise to do to help you grow your existing client base. Now, in Mastering the Upsell, one of the things I highlight is that if you sell to your existing customer base, this is important, if you sell to your existing customer base, you can grow your revenues by up to 30%. Think about that. Selling to your existing customer base, you can grow your revenue by up to 30%. But there's other things that are happening as well. For example, because you're selling to your existing customers, that means they already know you, you actually shorten your sales cycle. So your sales velocity actually goes up. So, and this is important because if we want to increase our sales velocity, sell more faster, why not do it? Another effect that it has is because you're selling to existing customers, because the sales cycles are shortened, your cost of sales per salesperson from a management standpoint actually go down. So why not actually sell to your existing customer base? Now, when I talk to companies and I ask them, do you have a grow your client base / upsell strategy? What do you think the majority say? We don't. And so what I want to do is, aside from talking about stuff that's in Mastering the Upsell in my book, what I want to do is give you an exercise that you can do with your team to kind of really expand and maybe figure out ways that you can actually grow your existing customer base. So here, let's set up the model. There's only 4 ways to grow your business, right? I've mentioned this several times. Let's go through the whole program here. There's only 4 ways to grow your business. And we've talked about these already in the intro slide. The first one is to go out and gain new clients. The second one is to go basically retain existing clients. Number 3, which is what we're going to talk about, how do you grow your existing client base? And then next week, we'll talk about how do you re-engage existing clients. In other words, people who stop buying. So let's focus on this right here. Let's say this is the quadrant. We want to talk about how do you grow your existing customer base? Well, let's go through it. How would you grow your existing customer base? Here's the exercise I want you to go through with your team or even yourself. Draw out what I call the battery. I call this the battery life program. And on this side, we have a positive. On this side, we have a negative, right? So now, here's what I want you to do. I should go bigger on this. Let me go big on this because I really want you to get this. Let me go even bigger than this. I'm just going to draw the whole battery out like this. Give you a full range of what this sucker could look like, all right? Now, on this side, we'll call that the positive side. This is the negative side. Let's give it some colors, make it look cool, man. How about this? Green, positive, right? And then here, I want you to write this, start, and then more. Just go ahead and write that out on a piece of paper, start more. Let's go on the negative side, let's go red. So negative, red, right? Let's talk about stop, and then say less. So now, let's go back to this. Now, here's what I want you to think about. You're trying to grow your existing customer base. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to grow your existing customer base. In doing that, here's what I want you to think about. What do I need to start doing to increase my average deal size? In other words, sell more to my existing customer. What could I start doing right here that I'm currently not doing today? So for example, maybe on the start side, maybe we can, let's say, include it in the process. In other words, we can create a sales process that includes the upsell, right? Sales process that includes an upsell. One of my favorite upsell strategies, if you ever go to rent a car, when you go to rent a car, notice what happens. You already have the car reserved, so you already paid for it, right? You get there, you wait in line. Then obviously they're going to try to sell you on, do you want to buy the gas now or do you want to buy it later? It's cheaper if you buy it now, they say, right? That's an upsell. Do you want insurance on the car? Even though you have your own insurance, they go, we can use our insurance. So they try to upsell you on that. But one of the more subtle aspects of upselling is if you stand in line at a rental place, especially at the airport, they have all these different like cables and plugs that you're going to need to charge your phone or computer, for example, and they always just put them right there. Now that's called the mere exposure effect. Just by seeing something, just like going to a grocery store, when you see something, you go, I might need that. So again, they don't have to sell it, they just have to show it to you and you wind up picking something up. 70% of us are impulse buyers, which is why they do that. Now, again, just kind of brainstorm. How can you show things to people? Start showing them other products that maybe if they see them, they'll go, maybe I want that. Maybe I need that. If you're doing a SaaS demo, you just might want to mention certain features, maybe other complementary software products that you have or apps. Again, just by showing the customer mere exposure, think about car rental, just by seeing it, maybe I want it. So maybe we can start doing some of that. Now, there may be some stuff that's really working that we need to do more of. For example, maybe, you know what, we've been showing options, and instead of just showing 2 options, maybe we want to move that to showing 3 options, because 3 options seems to be more effective. Again, start thinking about different things for your business you can start doing that you're doing today. It's working, but I need to do more of. Maybe, how about this? Maybe you're finding out that if you're sending out an email to your client base and you do webinars, the webinars, we need to do more webinars on new products. Well, maybe we can start doing that. That's a way of upselling to our existing customer base. Now let's go to stop. What should we stop doing that's simply not working? Maybe there's something we're doing that's not working. Like I said, I don't know what that would be for you, but let's say today what we're doing is we're trying to bundle things up, right? As part of an upsell process, we're trying to bundling, and bundling doesn't work. What we're figuring out is that options are actually more effective. So let's stop bundling in our program. Now, this may be reversed for your business. Options don't work, but bundles actually work better. So it really depends on your business. Let's look at less. What do we need to start doing less of? Here's a big one. Less discounting, right? How about if we do less discounting? Ooh, I got a great course on that one. In other words, instead of discounting more, let's discount less. How do we do that? Well, let's offer them alternative. That's one strategy, right? Again, let's use the endowment effect and pull or downsell them to be more effective. You start to get the idea that if we focus on growing our existing customer base, and then I ask myself, what do we need to start doing to actually sell more to our existing customers? Brainstorm, right? What do we need? What's working today that we need to do more of, right? Again, it could be webinars for our existing customers, showing them new products. Then we go over to the negative side. What do we need to stop doing that's not working? In this case, bundling is not working, right? Let's stop doing that because it's not working. Then, what should we do less of? Well, let's do less discounting. Maybe you still have to discount, but how do we reduce the amount of discount? So for example, if the average discount, and I'm making this up, is 20%, how do we get that down to 10%? What can we do? We can offer alternatives, right? Less expensive, or we can downsell them to something that they may or may not want. How about this one? Used equipment. That's one of my favorite downsell strategies. Instead of selling a new product, we can have some reused products. Again, it really depends on your industry. So look at this strategy. Go to the website, victorantonio.com. Sign up for the challenge if you haven't done so already. On that page, on the home page, you'll see just sign up for the challenge. Costs nothing, by the way. So, and I'm actually going to give you free stuff. When you go on the page, you'll see some actual videos that I created on how to upsell, grow your existing customer base. So go to victorantonio.com, sign up for the challenge. You just click on the link. It'll take you right to the page. Check out some of the videos that I've got there for free. Again, you don't have to sign up for anything. And then you can actually download some worksheets that I've actually put on the page. Check it out. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next week again. Next week, let me see if I can clear my board here. That's Victor Antonio. Let me clear my board here. Here's what we're going to do next week. So this week is all about, again, this week is all about growing your customer base, which is right here. Next week, we're going to talk about how do you reactivate clients. What does that mean? Next week, we're going to talk about how do you get customers who stop buying to begin buying again. We'll do that next week. So I'll stop right here. Go to victorantonio.com and check it out. And I'll answer any questions if you guys have any questions. I see a couple of people here. OB is in the house. OB Vasquez. Adrian Rubenstein. Hello, Victor. Greetings. A cold week in the UK. Stay warm, mate. Stay warm. Thank you. Agustín Nuño, my man from España. Hermano, recibí una invitación para dar una charla en España hoy. So we'll see if that turns out to be good. Jackie Kurtzinger, that is a cool name. Kurtzinger. Any tips for asking for referrals? I think oh man, that's such a good topic. It's such a good topic on asking for referrals. I think I actually have a course on the Sales Velocity Academy on that. And that's such a big question you're asking me right now, Jack. It's a big question. By the way, the asking for referrals, here's what I would do, Jack. I'm going to give you a general template. It's something to think about. One of the reasons, because I always often ask salespeople, are you asking for referrals? And I get all kinds of answers all over the place, right, Jackie? And what I realize that if you don't make it part of your sales process, in other words, really strategize, when do we ask for the referrals? At what stage, depending on what you're selling. So for example, the pool industry. I always like the pool industry as an example because it's both a product and a service that they're selling eventually. And so what they do is that they pretty much it's all strategy from the beginning to the end. Once they sign the contract, right, they do pre-construction. On pre-construction, they try to do some upselling. Then there's the actual construction. They'll try to upsell them. Pre-completion rather, there's another upsell point. Post-completion, after the pool's done, they try to do an upsell there. About a month later, they come back to do a review of the actual pool. They try to do an upsell there. But they also, if they're satisfied, that's when they ask for the referral. My point being, Jackie, in a nutshell, is that throughout your process, if we can define for our whole sales team when the actual upsell is done, or in this case, the referral is done, that's when everybody begins to do it consistently. That's the one big thing, that if we can incorporate that as part of a process, then we don't have to think about it. Because think about it. If we have to think about when we ask for referrals, that's too much cognitive loading. In other words, we have to think about it too much. But if we all agree that the best time to ask is point X right here, then we all begin doing that more automatically, which is what we're trying to get to. It isn't about how you ask for a referral, it's really when do you ask for a referral. And if everything's done right, asking should be the easy part. Sorry for the long answer. OV, are you going to make a training specifically for the speaking business? I've had that question asked a lot, OV. I got some thoughts on that. I'm working on a new project. I'm launching a new product, and it's a really cool project that I'm launching in January. So more to come, OV, and they'll be able to actually answer that question in more detail. Mr. Sase. That's a tough one to say, man. You got this? No, brother, you got this as well. Jackie, thank you so much. I help companies hire top talent, have been asking during our onboarding call and 2 weeks after hiring. There it is. What's been your success rate, Jackie? You know, I mean, and what do you ask for? I mean, there's different strategies for asking, right? One of my favorite strategies, Jackie, is that when you're asking for something, is that you clarify what you're specifically looking for. Like in the referral, I'll use the pool business, but again, you can extrapolate this for any other business, is like, do you know anybody who has a house this big with a backyard that's at least this wide or large, rather, that has a couple of kids that would probably be interested in having a pool like this? And I love those, like qualifying questions before you ask for the referral, because what happens if you just ask somebody for a referral, Jackie, I'm sure you know this, it's like the answer is too broad, right? But as soon as I say, do you know anybody who's recently moved into the neighborhood, who has a house this big with a yard that big, and probably has a couple of kids that might be interested, all of a sudden people just zoom in on the answer. That's the best way, in my opinion, to ask for a referral. So that is great. I need to add those details. Yeah, because what you're doing is you're directing the person's attention to what you want. It's like if I asked you right now, Jackie, what type of music do you like? You're like, depends on the mood, right? It depends on the mood. But if I say, Jackie, I said, in the last couple of months, who have you been listening to? Female artists that you've been listening to, that you had their song on replay, or loop, you would probably, who would that be, Jackie? Most people probably say Taylor Swift, right? But you get the idea. I start asking you, and then you start narrowing it, helping the person think through that process. MSBR Bell. Okay, thank you again. I love your quick videos and such. I like being able to, let me see, I got something on here. Repeat it and get the concept. There it is. Yeah, I try to keep them short. I got some newer videos coming out. I think it's going to be some cool content I got coming your way. But like I said, it's going to be something really unique in January. So I'm really excited to announce it. This new sales platform that I'm actually going to launch. So I'm super excited. So any other questions before I sign off? I'll take tough ones, by the way. And by the way, OV, I will have something for the speaking business. I'm thinking of just doing a whole course, OV, on really different ways to format or structure a story when you're on stage and when you're telling a story. One of the things, and you tell me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of people out there who talk about storytelling, from the stage, but when I hear them talk, they're horrible storytellers. And so what I want to do is be able to take one of my speeches where I tell a story, so I can show you that I'm actually doing a great story and telling it correctly, and then deconstruct that story. And so I'm going to deconstruct myself. So we'll see how that works out, man. You guys will let me know. But anyway, anything else before I sign off? I think I got everybody's question here. I should just add these questions. Let me see. There's Ov. Ov says, great. You helped me make 100. Congratulations, man. Way to go. By the way, that's a true story right there. For those of you who are watching this thinking, is that fake? No. He says, I'm ready for the 300. What do you say? You're ready for the 300? Yeah. So I've known Ovi for a few years now, and so I've seen him start with only making, I don't know, $500 a keynote or a speech. And so I've seen him grow. So congratulations. This will be your biggest year, right? Is this your biggest year, Ovi? This will be your biggest year, right? I'll wait for your response. And I like the fact that you're shooting for 300K. Good for you, man. Good for you. The speaking business is a great business if you do it the right way. Ovi's a great resource because he started, I think, the majority is in the college market, and then he's moved into talking to actually companies because he's worked for several very large companies. So good for you, man. Congratulations. So I don't know if you're still there, but well done, man. Yes, yes. Okay, I'll take double yes on that. Way to go, man. Good for you, man. So again, true story. But I'll have something on that, Ovi, so on storytelling probably, because I think even executives need to understand what storytelling is. You know, in other words, when I talk to executives, I should say more interesting enough, after they talk, and then after they do their talk, and they ask me, how did my speech go? It's always hard for me to tell folks, like, you know, great, you went up there, you gave them information, but your stories weren't as impactful as they could have been. So again, maybe I'll do a master class on real storytelling. Maybe I'll do it that way, on how to really design a nice story. So a lot of good structures out there that you can use to tell a great story. And if you haven't seen some of my stories on YouTube, just go on YouTube. You can see some of the videos. And again, it's very powerful. But anyway, getting back to this, check out the end of the year challenge. Just join us. I mean, again, this is all free. It costs you nothing to hang out. And then, like I said, every week I'll be doing this. Through December, I'll be doing this as well. And like I said, if you have any questions during that time, let's hang out. Let's do something. On that note, I am out of here. I got to go record a podcast. And that is all for now. Take care, guys. Thank you, as always, for joining me and supporting me.